The Berlin Airlift. One of the first major international crises of the Cold War. Why did this happen? Reason 1, General tensions. The Allies had been granted 3 air corridors for access to Berlin, but hadn't been granted right of passage by rail and road, and relied on the goodwill of the Soviets to allow them access to West Berlin, which was 100 miles inside of the Soviet occupation zone. The Germans living in the Soviet-occupied zones were strongly against the Soviets, as harsh treatment and political repression was common. Reason 2, the introduction of the Deutschmark. The Germans were using cigarettes as a de facto currency as the actual currency, the Reichsmark, had undergone rapid inflation. The introduction of the Deutschmark on the 18th of June 1948 helped further an economically stable West Germany. The Soviet Union didn't want a Western-aligned economically stable Germany so close to Soviet territory, so they banned the currency in Soviet-controlled East Berlin. The Deutschmark quickly became the standard currency in all 4 sectors, despite being banned in the Soviet-occupied zones. The Soviets looked to force the Western nations to abandon Berlin by blocking all ways of transporting goods to Berlin by land. On the 24th of June 1948, all land and water connections were severed. On the 25th of June, the Soviets stopped supplying food to the Allied occupied zones of Berlin. Luckily, planes filled with provisions had started to fly on the 24th of June. From the 24th of June 1948 to the 12th of May 1949, 278,288 flights carrying provisions to the people of West Berlin. 101 people died over the 323 days of the Berlin Airlift. 2.3 million tons of supplies, such as coal and food, were delivered, with planes landing every 30 seconds, with planes flying from Britain and West Germany. On the 15th of April 1949, the Soviets expressed a willingness to lift the blockade, and on the 12th of May 1949, 1 minute after midnight, the blockade was lifted. The first train reached Berlin at 5:32 am. The Berlin Airlift officially ended on the 30th of September 1949. The airlift cost about $5.36 billion. The Berlin Airlift was a Western victory, but wasn't the only issue that came across Germany during the Cold War.